This video will go over the DSIM-CC and DSIM-CF setup for FlexNet, FlexMax, and Navicore amplifiers. Place a DSIM-equipped amp module into the housing and torque the module's mounting screws to spec. Power up the amplifier. The LED on the DSIM will begin to blink a steady blue, indicating that it is in manual mode. Plug the controller cable into the DSIM, then plug the controller into the cable. The controller LED will flash red and blue for a few seconds while it syncs up. Then it will turn solid blue to indicate that the DSIM is in manual mode. The controller is used to upload the pilot channel into the DSIM and place it into AGC mode. The back of the controller shows what channel it is programmed for. The mode button cycles through the three available modes. Clicking it while in manual mode will switch the DSIM into AGC mode. Clicking again will switch the DSIM into thermal boating mode. Clicking once more will cycle the DSIM back to manual mode. The plus and minus buttons are used to adjust the DSIM's position in relation to the center of the Bode circuit. This chart shows the proper adjustment to make according to the ambient temperature outside. For example, if it is above 100 degrees outside, hold down the plus button to max out the DSIM's position on the Bode. Use your meter to gauge the adjustment. Then use the minus button to back the DSIM off by the amount indicated in the chart. Once the adjustment has been made, use the input pad and EQ on the amplifier to balance your amp to system design specifications as you normally would. Note that all ALC switches and sensitivity pots are bypassed when the DSIM is installed. Once you have balanced the amp to system design specifications, you are ready to set the DSIM into AGC mode. As with any amplifier, make sure that the amp module has enough time to heat up to operating temperature before locking it into AGC mode. This will take longer on colder days. Press the mode button on the controller to cycle the DSIM over to AGC mode. The controller will flash blue and red for about 30 seconds while it uploads the pilot channel into the DSIM and the DSIM locks onto the pilot. When the alignment is finished, the controller will flash blue on and off rapidly, indicating that the DSIM is now in AGC mode. Remove the controller from the cable, then remove the cable from the DSIM, and the amp setup is complete. While in AGC mode, the LED on the DSIM will flash a pattern representing the pilot channel that it has locked onto. In this example, the DSIM is set to channel 88 digital. Here we see 8 quick blinks to represent 80, another 8 quick blinks to represent 8, and then 2 long blinks to represent digital, as opposed to just 1 long blink, which would represent analog. Here are some examples of blinking patterns for other channels. This LED color coding chart can be helpful for your first few installations. On the left is a list of color codes that appear on the DSIM LED, and on the right are the color codes that appear on the controller LED. Notice that the DSIM has a third mode, which is a thermal compensation mode. It is helpful to know that this mode is available, which you will know you are in when seeing a pinkish-purplish light on the controller LED. Most systems prefer to always set the DSIM into AGC mode rather than thermal, since the AGC mode provides a more precise gain control. If the DSIM is set into AGC mode and the pilot channel is ever lost, the DSIM will automatically switch to this thermal compensation mode and automatically return to AGC mode once the pilot channel is restored. For additional information, visit ACIComms.com.